Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this post, I want to talk about an article that a fellow Truth Seeker shared with me. There are some very alarming numbers in here. This article was released July 10th, 2 days ago, written by Business Insider, another one of these publications that loves to code their articles with gematria and important numerology. This is the article. I've taken some excerpts and decoded it, so we'll just go with this. It's about testing in the United States of biological warfare. And these are experiments that were done on this very nation, the United States of America, by its own government. The article says, it all began in late September of 1950. Notice September. September's the month with 49 gematria, like the word revelation. And we know from our own history about big events in September. It all began in late September of 1950 when over a few days a Navy vessel used giant hoses to spray a fog of two kinds of bacteria. You can read it, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Both believed at the time to be harmless. Believed at the time to be harmless. Don't you love how they always do that to us? Oh, well, we didn't know it was going to be so bad back then. This is all part of the joke that they continue to run on us. Both believed at the time to be harmless, out into the fog where they disappeared and spread over the city. It was noted that a successful BW, biological warfare attack, on this area can be launched from the sea, and that effective dosages can be produced over relatively large areas. Concluded a later declassified military report cited by the Wall Street Journal. Successful indeed, according to Leonard Cole. Leonard's a 33 name truth seeker. Director of the Terror Medicine and Security Program at Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School. His book, Clouds of Secrecy, secrecy's a 33 word, documents the military's secret bioweapons test over populated areas, Cole wrote. Terror Medicine and Security Program. Can you believe we have these things as a nation, Truth Seeker? Nearly all of San Francisco received 500 particles minutes per liter. In other words, nearly every one of the 800,000 people in San Francisco, this is back in the 50s, exposed to the cloud at normal breathing rate, 10 liters per minute, inhaled 5,000 or more particles per minute during the several hours that they remained airborne. And remember, these were harmful particles that at the time they thought weren't harmful. Yet, how could you think when you're testing something for biological warfare it's not going to be harmful? They just treat us like we're idiots. This was among the first, but far from the last of these sorts of tests. Tests include the large-scale release of bacteria in New York City subway system, on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and in National Airport. Over the next 20 years, the military would conduct 239, a lot like the date September 23rd, germ warfare, and we'll come back to that phrase, germ warfare tests, over populated areas. According to news reports from the 1970s, after the secret tests had been revealed in the New York Times, Washington Post, Associated Press, and other publications via LexisNexis, and also detailed in congressional testimony from the 70s. So think about that. This started in 50s, went on for more than 2 decades before the people even got a clue of what was going on. And right now we're living in a nation where they're spraying our skies on the daily, and the sheepish masses are telling themselves it's normal. And for we who are awake and seeing, we don't exactly know what to know because there's so much information out there, but we don't know what to trust. But our eyes do not deceive us. These tests included the large-scale releases of bacteria in the New York City subway system or the Pennsylvania Turnpike and in National Airport just outside of Washington, D.C. You can read that full article. I have it linked on my blog, Truth Seeker. But with regards to those 239 germ warfare tests and the article featuring a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge, here's the article right here. It's quite alarming, Truth Seeker, because Golden Gate itself has Jewish gematria of 239. And notice that germ warfare, what they put in quotes next to the 239, germ warfare, has this gematria of 115. In Jewish gematria, the word killing equals 115. In simple English gematria, Freemasons, the plural, equals 115. Also notice how killing has a gematria of 74. Very important number to this nation, a nation that's been at war for almost every single year of its existence. Very much a killing nation. So at the top of this article, I'll show you what concerns me as well, Truth Seeker. One of the largest human experiments in history, in parentheses. In gematria, Pythagorean gematria, that breaks down to 206. And why 206 is concerning to me is because that's the Seattle area code. And Seattle as a city has gematria of 82, which is the number of Armageddon. Also, Seattle and San Francisco share this 126th meridian, which is getting coded as much as anything right now. And all the foreshadowing that's been done, I mean, there's been all sorts of foreshadowing of destruction in this nation. There has been a lot of focus on the West Coast. In the times I've gone through this research, the focus in the way they code their information has shifted from the Carolinas to the West Coast. It almost makes me think that they're foreshadowing disaster on both coasts, which would make a lot of sense because that would be a 9/11 scare on a much bigger level, a much more local level for the entire nation. Seattle and San Francisco. But also, Truth Seeker, check this out. There's just more here. I talked about this already on April 4th, 4-4, the kill number. Obama's the 44th president. On 4/4/13, Obama took this shot in front of the Golden Gate Bridge, grinning ear to ear. I honestly don't know if I've ever seen him smile bigger than this. And, you know, I'm not someone who thinks Obama's worse than any other president. I think to be the president of the United States, you have to be an incredibly sick individual. I think that's the only type of person they would ever allow in the position. You know, they can't have somebody up there spilling all the beans. But I mean, just look at him. Have you guys ever seen Obama smile this big? I think these guys know what's coming, and I think they love it. I think they love it. He was taken that day on the Marine One, another coding of 49, special number of revelation. Talked about how that connects to September. Also the Bay Area, home of the 49ers, who are hosting the upcoming Super Bowl. But anyway, check this out. Golden Gate, in reference to Jerusalem, let's just read it from Wikipedia. The Golden Gate, as it is called in Christian literature, is the oldest of the current gates in Jerusalem's old city walls. According to Jewish tradition, the Shekinah, divine presence, used to appear through this gate and will appear again when the anointed one, or Messiah, remember Messiah has gematria of 74, just like Jesus, just like Muhammad, comes. And this is from Ezekiel 44. Remember, Obama posed the 44th president in front of the Golden Gate on 4/4/13. Look at this. Ezekiel 4:4, 1 through 3. Obama's pose is from April 4th, 13. And a new gate replaces the present one. That is why Jews used to pray for mercy at the former gate at this location. Hence the name Shar Harashmim, the gate of mercy. In Christian apocryphal texts, the gate was the scene of a meeting between the parents of Mary, so that Joachim and Anne meeting at the Golden Gate became a standard subject in cycles depicting the life of the Virgin. It is also said that Jesus passed through this gate on Palm Sunday. In Arabic, it is known as the Gate of Eternal Life. Some equate it with the Beautiful Gate, mentioned in Acts 3. Acts is the 44th book in the Bible. Again, 44. And with regards to Jerusalem, I think America might be a new Jerusalem. They both have this same Pythagorean gematria of 32. The United States was established by these same Zionist forces that rule the country today. That's why the Star of David and all those things are coded into early fixtures of the nation long before Israel and the Star of David flag existed. Why the United States was so significant in the formation of Israel. Look up the Balfour Declaration if you're not familiar with it. Also, Truth Seeker, outside of the Golden Gate, the other major land structure that has a lot foreshadowed on it's the Hoover Dam. And following September 23rd by 5 days is September 28th, the date of the fourth and final blood moon. Hoover Dam has gematria that connects to the date September 28th. I need to do another video post on that goat that was foreshadowed on the dam, or not foreshadowed, that was projected onto the dam in May. That's a post I still need to do. But aside from this, what we just presented, Truth Seeker, I saw this commercial yesterday on TV, which just gave me the creeps. I couldn't believe it. Hotels.com, man. On the ad, it shows a man in front of a bulletin board that, for anybody who's seen A Beautiful Mind, will remind them of this. In that movie, the man is plotting out conspiracies, lining them all up, coordinating them, kind of like what I'm doing on this blog. And in this commercial, this background completely communicates that. And look at what numbers up on the screen. 239. Remember, the 52nd prime number is 239. Californian Pythagorean gematria equals 52. The Pope has simple English gematria at 52, is coming on the 23rd day of the 9th month, September 23rd. And also, Truth Seeker, not only that, there's a lot of concerning things up here that are worth taking the time to go through. But look down here in the corner, blackout dates. When I first started this research, I was truly worried that the nation was foreshadowing a blackout, a national blackout, or at least a major region blackout. Blackout dates has this gematria of 44, Truth Seeker. 44, that number again. Also yesterday, July 11th, the day I saw this, is 74 days until September 23rd, meaning today we're at 73 days till September 23rd. Time is ticking. And they just keep coding this number everywhere, putting it right before our eyes. And for those of you who are thinking, well, they're starting to make this too obvious, you have to remember that the majority of people are completely asleep, do not pay attention to anything like this, and don't have the slightest clue about what's going on in September. I would wager that the majority of the country doesn't even know the Pope's visiting in September. The majority of the country can't tell you anything about anything going on because they truly don't pay attention to anything outside of consumerism, movies, sitcoms, and sports. I'm sure so many of you who are awake, when you try to talk to people and bring stuff up, they're like, oh, I didn't even hear about that. Oh, I didn't even hear about that. That's what my whole life's been. I'm like, how can people in this nation... Ugh. That'd be another side rant. Never mind, Truth Seeker. But also, I just want to bring up one more point about this Philadelphia train crash. I can't believe I overlook this all the time. I've known all this time that it happened at September 23rd. And I noticed that May 12th was the 132nd day of the year. There were a lot of curious things about it. It's 134 days from this date to September 23rd. And when they had the fire truck in the CNN news scene that was responding to this, it kept backing up back and forth. It had the number 134 on it, the amount of days from the wreck to the Pope's visit. But look at this, Truth Seeker. May 12th, 2015 has numerology of 52, just like the gematria of the word Pope. And I overlooked that all this time. The train crash even has a connection to 52 and 923. Remember, 266th Pope visiting on the 266th day of the year. And also, Truth Seeker, on July 4th of this year, the nation's birthday, we turned 239 years old. The number yet again making it all the more clear why the 23rd day of September could be very significant this year. And with regards to Business Insider, the same publication that gave us this, just to show you how they code, right now this is their front page story. It's about the Greece crisis. The most important currency has been lost. Check this out, Truth Seeker. In gematria, this sums to 156, a number connected to God. On the dollar bill, it says, in God we trust. In dollar also has Pythagorean gematria of 26. This is how they do it, Truth Seeker. Coding, coding, coding. Relentless. The Masons run it. The publications, the governments, the media, the entertainment, the sports. We live in their sandbox. And I think they're telling us our sandbox is about to change, possibly as soon as this September 23rd. All right, Truth Seeker. Keep doing your part. Try to wake up those people you know. We have to wake up before they do this to us. Think about what a nightmare it's going to be for those of us if we see something go down September 23rd and the sheepish masses still can't get it. We might have a lot bigger things to worry about then, but we're only going to stop this by bringing awareness and waking up the sleeping people, because they're the ones that keep this going. If everybody was awake, we could shut this down tomorrow. They're not, unfortunately. And don't forget this grinning bastard. What an asshole. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.